All right, there we go. Oh, I'm just going to have to reposition it later. I don't care. All right, welcome everybody to Critical Mass. I'm your host, Rob. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate all the ball-busting comments about my camera not working, and now my lights aren't working either. Today we're going to talk about Minneapolis. We're going to talk about Mr. Pretty. And there's a lot of things going on in the conservative movement that I'm seeing that I don't like. Well, specifically, I'm going to talk right now about something Kash Patel said that was just kind of mind-blowing to me. I can't believe that actually came out of his mouth, that you don't go to protest armed. Absolutely go to protests armed. It is, I mean, are you kidding me? The Second Amendment is there to protect your first. I mean, it's kind of like, part and parcel with the Second Amendment. Absolutely go to I wouldn't. Listen, I don't go to protests anyway. I go to rallies. There's a difference. I'll go to a pro-life rally. I'll go to the Straight Pride Parade, which was hilarious. I'll go to a, 2A rally, absolutely. But will I go and protest anything? No, because, so, and the perfect example is the VCDL, which is the kind of the Virginia Defense League. They have their VCDL day, where all of the people in Virginia that are pro Second Amendment go, and they're carrying AR-15s, loaded, exposed. They're wearing kit. And the thing is you've never heard of anybody being shot in one of those things by the police. If there was ever a tense situation for the gun grabbers and the parasites in government to want to start some shit, that would be the place. And then Patty had said something earlier today that really kind of encapsulates the Second Amendment, because they're too afraid. We have them outgunned and outnumbered. That's the whole point of the Second Amendment. The whole point of the Second Amendment is not to intimidate citizens. In fact, our forefathers talked about that at length. If you have ever read the Federalist Papers, you know that it was also not meant to intimidate journalists. So if you're sitting out there with an AR-15 in a threatening manner, or saying some shit to a journalist, somebody who's recording what's going on, you are not exercising your Second Amendment. You can miss me with that bullshit. But if you're standing at a rally and you're armed, and then I see some of the conservatives go, oh, well, he didn't have his license on him. Go fuck yourself. First of all licensing is unconstitutional. Nowhere in the Second Amendment does it say you have to pay. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to pay for a right. That is a God-given right. It is a natural right, which means you were born with it. You were born with the ability to be able to protect yourselves. And our forefathers chose to say that you are able to protect yourselves with firearms and arms. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to pay for this right. So first of all, licensing is unconstitutional. And according to Marbury versus Madison, if you really want to get down to it, Marbury versus Madison in 1814 said any law repugnant to the Constitution is void. Yes, this was the Supreme Court of the United States of America. I don't care that it was 200 some odd years ago. It's never been refuted by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has never taken it up back since then. They kind of just forget that it exists. Now, Patty, it will be on the show in a little bit, so you can hear this for yourselves. Patty called us all bootlickers, and that he would have never thought he would see the conservatives that we are being the bootlickers that we are. Especially somebody like me who's said multiple times that I am not pro law enforcement. I'm not pro law enforcement by any. I can't. But there's no metric out there which I can point to that would say that I'm on a list of people who are like, yeah, I'm a pro cop, because all I have ever seen cops do my entire life is subjugate my natural rights as a citizen of this country. And when I see, what happened at Waco, and then every year the ATF wants to try to play on our heartstrings. Oh, look at these 4 ATF agents, while forgetting about the 76 men, women, and babies that they burned to death in that building. They never mentioned that. So, and I go, well, every year they do that, they put out a post on X, and they're like, and I'm like, they're burning in hell. They deserve it. They killed babies. I don't care. I don't care. There was no reason for our federal government to do that to our citizens. So I have been anti-federal government, or just anti-government, pretty much my whole life. And the reason for that, because everything, there's nuance. It's not just blatant. Reno says he also called us MAGA. And Reno resents being called MAGA. Everything is nuanced. So when I make a statement like, I hate the government, I don't trust the government, I'm anti-government, it comes from somewhere. There are reasons for this. It's not just I'm just saying it to get an emotional response out of the person that's listening. Oh my God, Rob's a badass, and he's anti-government. He's one of those people. I am anti-government because my government, in all of the years that I have been voting, has not done a damn thing for me and the American citizens. They have not proven that they have earned the right for me to give up my power to them so that they can govern me. This is why I hate the government. This is why I fight tooth and nail in everything that I do. I am not a pro-government guy. I am not a bootlicker. But no way am I a bootlicker. I am not pro-police. I am not pro-law enforcement, because I've seen what law enforcement has done, and I see it all the time. And I'll go to an example right now. There was a woman who was a New Hampshire resident that was just pulled over in Stoneham, Massachusetts, and she was in the passenger seat. Well, she was in a car that was pulled over. And the cops, they didn't tell anybody why they searched the vehicle, but she had her legally owned firearm in a glove compartment, the mag out of it. But because she didn't have a license in Massachusetts, they arrested her. They are ruining her life. And then the police chief comes out and says, "Oh, we're protecting the communities of Massachusetts and the town of Stoneham, and we got this illegal weapon off the street." And it's all of this bullshit phrasing where I go, that's why I'm not fucking pro law enforcement right there. There's the perfect fucking example. And then I get, well, then Rob, how can you be pro ICE? Because I actually have voted for ICE every single time I have voted. What? That doesn't make sense, Rob. Yes, it does. I voted for a government that put its people first, and the welfare of illegal immigrants last. That's what I voted for. I voted for a government that said, you know what? The American people are more important than these 100,000 Somalis that are in Minnesota right now stealing our tax dollars. American citizens are more important than they are. This is what I voted for. So for the first time in my life, I'm getting something that I voted for. So how am I a bootlicker if I'm finally coming around and saying, all right, you know what? The government is shifting to a point where, all right, I see some things happening. Then I see a lot of things that aren't happening, like getting rid of Pam Bondi, but that's another show for another fucking time, man, because it ain't now. But I voted for this. I believe that the government's main priority is to keep Americans safe, keep her borders safe, keep our lives, our liberty, our sovereignty, our freedom, everything. That is our government. I believe, I believe that it's their sole purpose. Most other people don't, because they've been indoctrinated into the way things have been for the last 40 or 50 years, maybe even 60, 70 years. I look at my government as an abject failure. If I were to put myself in, I don't know, George Washington's shoes, or Sam Adams' shoes, or Hamilton's shoes, or Adams's shoes, looking at what they fought for, all of the American citizens that died during the Revolution, and seeing where we are right now, they're slapping their heads. They're going, "Oh, what the fuck?" I guarantee it. So when my government does do something that I vote for, I'm going to support it. I have never really supported the government. I voted for Bush the first time because I wasn't voting for Al Gore, but then I didn't vote for Bush the second time. It was a protest vote because under supposed Republican leadership and Republican government, or conservative government, we got the Patriot Act, and we were sold that bill of goods under the guise of we need it for protection. And I only saw Waco, and I only saw Ruby Ridge, and I only saw Oklahoma City bombing, all part of the PSYOP to get all of us on board with government overreach and totalitarian. Wow, I am really tired. Totalitarian power. And I said, well, I'm not giving up my freedom. I'm not doing, I'm not going to do anything the government asked me to do. Fuck that. They haven't earned it. I still never gave up on voting, other than that one time with Bush. I think the Constitution is pretty clear. I think that the things that, when our forefathers were talking about, all of these amendments that they ratified and said, all right, they looked at what they came from, what their forefathers came from, what they fought against, an oppressive regime like the British government, and they said, well, we got to do things totally opposite of that. And one of those things is to make sure that you are armed as a citizen to protect yourself, especially from a government like the British government was at that time, which is what we have now. ICE is there to arrest criminals and illegals. This is what I voted for. I voted. You can't say that you want the illegals gone, but then not have a force to be able to round them up and get them out. You can't say that you voted for closing the border, cleaning up our voter rolls from all of these illegals that did vote, mass deportations, without having somebody to actually do that work, because you're not doing that work. I'm not doing that work. I want to. Trust me, I want to. And people on the left would be like, yeah, that's definitely fucking par for the course for Rob. I'm not Mexican. Somebody just made a comment, said, I'm Mexican. Do you support the illegals? You Fidel Castro. Sometimes people just don't make any sense. They're retarded. I'm not even close to being Mexican. Like, I don't know. My people come from 4,000 or 5,000 miles away. Anyway, So we need a force. We need a group of men to go out there and round these people up. What do you think just because Trump said, oh, well, all illegals are getting deported, that they're just going to self-deport? They're not going to self-deport. Some have. Some were smart enough. And I honestly think the ones that did self-deport are the ones that really, truly wanted to be a part of America. And for the fact that they self-deported and they turn around and apply to come back, I think they should be allowed to come back. That's the kind of people we want here in America. No, dude, listen, you got the wrong guy. It may be streaming on Enrique's page, but if you actually pay attention and you look at me, I'm not Enrique Tarrio. Thank fucking God I'm not. Holy shit. I'm 100% Italian from the Bronx, you fucking moron. I look like Fidel. Because I look like Fidel Castro. Shut up. Yeah, here we go. We got the trolls. So back to what I was saying. We need ICE to go in there and do that. I don't care what you call it. It could be ICE. It could be Border Patrol. It could be, I don't care, U.S. Marshals. I mean, what if ICE wasn't ICE and it was U.S. Marshals going in and doing this? Because they very easily could go in and do this. You know, everybody would be against the U.S. Marshals. The problem that I'm seeing right now, and this is what it really truly boils down to, is that the left, for some crazy fucking reason, believes that these illegal immigrants should be allowed to stay here, to live off of our tax dollars, and they're willing to fight people like ICE, get in their faces, run them over with cars, to stop these people from being deported. Now, what's going on in Minnesota is billions of dollars of theft. Obviously, Waltz and the lieutenant governor are complicit in this. Obviously, we have attorneys, district attorneys, everybody from the top down to the lowliest Somali that said, hey, I'm going to open up a daycare center and I need $1 million to do it. And it's just a kind of like a storefront and there's nothing going on inside. This has been proven. They are stealing money. They know that they're stealing this money. Now, are they at the top of the food chain in this Ponzi scheme? No, they're not the top of the food chain. The arguing that's going on in the comments right now is hilarious. No, Governor Waltz is. And who's even above that? Joe Biden. Although I'm going to cut Joe Biden some slack on this one. I don't even think Joe Biden knows his own name. I don't think he knew even his own name when he was in office for 4 years. I know for a fact he didn't control any of that shit. He wasn't in control of what was going on. He was barely in control of his facilities. This is Kamala Harris, Obama, the Clintons. They're the top of the food chain right there. The deep state. Oh, and there are, sorry guys, there are some complicit Republicans in this too. You know, the woman that was shot and killed, I remember when I was doing shows on Chatter, and that place is just a festering whole pit of shit libs. Like, that's psychotic how bad it is. And they were like, oh no, this was a MAGA guy that shot him. It was a MAGA guy that shot him. You know, I look at all situations and I try to break it down and I go, you know, if something doesn't smell right, then it's not right. She was the only Democrat to step outside of the Democrat Party and not vote for, I don't know, the things that we are seeing right now, what's going on in Minnesota. And she ended up dead. This dude that got shot by ICE, I will be the first one to say that I think it's tragic that he was shot. But he put himself in that situation. Had he stood on the side and not gotten involved. We're not talking about, and here's the thing, we're not talking about, Americans standing up for the government. Oh, I don't know, like during COVID, if people stood up against the cops and the mayors and the governors that locked you down, illegally locked you down, and there was a gunfight over that. I mean, I honestly thought I was going to see something like that, but boy, did we get cucked out really fucking bad during COVID. Everybody fell for it. Everybody fell for the COVID scam. They were allowed to take away everything that the Constitution granted you for a flu. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everybody fucking fell into that shit. The amount of conservatives that I saw that were wearing masks willingly or just complying, they got you. They got you. You didn't stand up. You didn't do shit. You went along with the program. I had the cops called on me at fucking Sig Sauer because I walked in there and I wasn't wearing a motherfucking mask. Abso-fucking-lutely. I walked into Sig, they're like, sir, you got to put a mask on. I said, you're out of your motherfucking mind. And he just looked at me. I said, I'm not wearing a fucking mask. And I said, frankly, I don't want people in a fucking gun store wearing masks either. Are you at a fucking banks? I remember back in the day, they would call the cops on you. They would ask you to leave if you walked in with your hood up and your sunglasses on. Does anybody remember that? No, it's like, oh, wait a minute. All right, let me take my sunglasses off so that, everybody behind the counter doesn't think that I'm trying to rob the fucking place. And now all of a sudden, it's okay to have your face completely fucking covered up in a gun store? Go fuck yourself. I'm not playing that game. I never wore a mask, not one time. I fought back. I can't even tell you how many times I got in fucking confrontations with people over it. I wasn't doing it. Fuck you. Not like guys that I know, like in real life that I've ridden with. I mean, I saw some dudes that were riding their motorcycles with their fucking masks on. I don't ride with those guys anymore, though. Those guys don't hang with us anymore. We said, fuck you. You're wearing a mask while you're on a motorcycle. It's like the idiot that in 2026 is still wearing a mask alone in a car. The government figured out how to cuck you motherfuckers out, and you did. And that, COVID was the appropriate response, would have been, the Second Amendment would have been appropriate response for COVID. Because the government is subjugating your natural rights. They are taking your freedom and your liberty away. Again, that's what the Second Amendment is for. The Second Amendment was not intended for protesters to go and stop our government from getting rid of illegals. Like they're illegal. They don't belong here. They're not afforded the same opportunities we are. They broke our law. Our one, like there should be some. Again, I'm not pro law enforcement. Murder, yeah, there should be laws against murder. There should be laws against rape. There should be laws against theft. Personal property theft. Stealing from insurance companies, well, they should give you a fucking gold star for that. The funniest law, I think, is lying to the government. If you lie on your 4473, which is the form you have to fill out to get a gun, you lie on that, you go to jail. Our federal government has never been honest with us. Why the fuck do I need to be honest with them? Think about it for a minute. They expect you to be 100% honest with them and forthright with them your entire life. But they can go and lie and be subversive fucking cocksuckers. And it's okay. Bullshit. In fact, I was just about to say they are held to the same standard we are. No, they're supposed to be held to a higher standard. For people to be in power like that, for that to happen, we, the citizens, have to give up our power to them to govern over us. So they should be held to a higher standard. They should be completely transparent, and they're not. What I saw in that video is a guy, I watched the whole video like from start to finish because obviously, you know, these guys are masters at editing. They cut out the first part of that where he does get in ICE's face. ICE is trying to arrest somebody. Some woman gets involved who shouldn't be involved. When you get nose to nose with somebody who's, you get nose to nose with me, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. I don't care. You don't get in my face like that. I don't allow you to. And I'll be damned if I'm trying to work and somebody's trying to stop me from working. So if you watch the whole video, the whole video is out there. From the moment ICE stops, because you know they got apps now that they're tracking ICE, the signal chats that Cam Higbee, which is amazing, by the way. Everybody, if you're not following Cam, go follow Cam. Hopefully I can get govern me harder, Daddy. Reno says, Reno, if you're available to come in the space, could you put Cam's up in the comments section? If you don't know Cam, go follow Cam. The kid's doing work, man. He really is. He's a good dude. I totally support everything that he's doing. But you know, he exposes their signal chats, and you know they have license plates. These people are running around to regular citizens who are sitting in their cars, beating on them because they believe that they're ICE. A friend of mine, you guys know him, Buckster. Buckster drives a vehicle that looks like a cop car. He's not a cop. But he drives a vehicle that looks like a cop car. And he got chased down by 3 psychotic liberal bitches in Massachusetts. He called me on the phone. He's like, Rob, let me tell you what the fuck just happened to me. They thought he was fucking ICE. This is how that's not your First Amendment. That's not a First Amendment right to be able to say that you're chasing down citizens because you believe that they're ICE and attacking citizens. Hold on 1 second. All right, there we go. ICE is doing a job that I actually voted for. I voted for the removal of criminal illegal immigrants that have been living off of our system, that have not been putting into America, whose culture is diametrically opposed to ours. They're incompatible with Western civilization. And they show it. They show it by stealing from us. They show it by killing, raping, child trafficking, drug dealing. That's what these people are. Now, granted, there are a ton that have come over here illegally that are actually just decent people. You can't deny that. You can't deny that there are some people that wanted to come over here and they didn't want to wait. I thought the last time I looked, the queue was like there was like 24 million people that wanted to come in this country, and they've been sitting in the immigration queue for a very long time. And somebody says to me, I think it was last year, we were talking about this, and they said, "Well, why do you think that is, Rob?" And I said, "Well, because the illegals that they're allowing to that Joe Biden allowed to pour over the border, who do you think they're going to vote for? They're going to vote for the people that allow them to come here and that are giving them free food and free housing and free money and free health care on our dime." Let's not forget that. On our dime. And the people that have applied to come over here and do it the right way, these are the people that are escaping their communist countries that want to come over here and be a part of the American dream and be a part of this whole like amazing experiment that was America. And those are the type of people that would most likely vote conservative because they're coming over here. They're fiscally minded. They want to build something. They want to build a life. And most people that want to build a life have more conservative leanings. I'm saying all, but they have more conservative leanings. They might be not outright conservatives, but they want to live in a place where their government's not handing them bread, where all of their money that they work goes to the government. They don't want to live in socialism. They don't want to live in communism. They want to come here and they want to be a part of this, and they want to live free. People like that are not going to vote for Democrats because Democrats have had a long history of raising taxes, taking. It was the Democrats that did everything that they did during COVID. So those people that are been sitting in the queue waiting for years and years and years would most likely vote conservative. The 30 or 40 million that came over the border, who do you think they're going to vote for? So that's what they do. They open up the borders because they know the way COVID started going 2 years into it. They heard America. America had enough at that point. And they're like, well, we kind of screwed the pooch. What are we going to do? Well, that's why so many of these states allow illegals to vote, which it is illegal for an illegal to vote in federal elections. And then, you got the left that goes, well, they're not voting in federal elections. They're voting in local elections. Don't we always say local elections have consequences? And those consequences are we get people like, Maggie Hassan. We get people like Elizabeth Warren and Chris Murphy. Yes, elections have consequences. There is no other way, and that I've been able to see or research, try to figure out in my head. There's no other way to get these people out. We need a force that is backed up by law to detain them, process them, and send them packing. And that is ICE. Our government, its sole duty is to the people of America, keeping them safe, keeping them solvent, protecting our liberty and our sovereignty from foreign invaders. It is that simple. You can try to conflate it with whatever you want. It always comes back to this is our government's role in our lives. And that's the only role that government should play in our lives. Government should work as a business to get the best deal possible for the American citizen, not themselves. And everybody on the left and everybody on the right, they get into politics. They get captured by big money, AIPAC being one of them, not the sole and not the biggest, but the most powerful. And then these people get a taste of the fine life. There's no way that Ilhan Omar should be worth $30 million. There's no way. Where did that $30 million come from? I want to know. I have a right to know. As an American citizen, I have a right to know where my representatives are getting their money from. Tony Gonzalez got $1.1 million from AIPAC to beat Brandon Herrera in Texas 23. 1.1. It cost AIPAC $1.1 million to eke out 397 votes. And that's really what it was. They spent $1.1 million to beat Brandon Herrera by 400 votes. Because Brandon's not on the take. Who is the only congressman that's not taking money from AIPAC. There's only one. A lot of what Massey says I don't agree with. But why is he the only one that voted against the kill switch that's happening here in the federal kill switch on your vehicles that's happening in February? Why was he the only one, the only conservative to vote against it? All the other conservatives voted for it. And you guys, we're too busy worrying about Antifa and the left in the streets of fucking Minneapolis. They're pushing this. They are absolutely 100% pushing this because you don't see that Patriot Act 3.0 is coming in a couple of days. Rob, what the hell are you talking about? Go look up what the auto kill switch is. That's the condensed version of what it really is. I mean, there's so much more to it. They're going to be able to track everything you do in your vehicle now. They can shut your vehicle off. They can tax you for driving. Every single thing that you do in your vehicle now, every single thing. But yeah, again, we're too busy worried about what's going on in Minneapolis because that's what they want you to see. That's what they want you to get enraged about. Because while you're paying attention to that, they're doing all of this shit on the side. And this has been our government for as long as I can remember. It's now time to turn our eye to the government, not what's going on in Minneapolis. Let that city burn. Let them do whatever they're going to do to one another. We need to wake the fuck up and look at the true enemy. And the true enemy is the deep state, the swamp donkeys, all of these representatives that claim to be conservatives that are okay with taking more of your freedom and your liberty away from you. I'll end the monologue on this. It's always tragic. Well, not always tragic, because there are some people that have died, like when Gary Plausch killed the guy that raped his son. That there was definitely no loss of actual life there. So, in a situation like this, it was tragic. The guy put himself in a position where he shouldn't have ever been. Had he just been sitting on the sidelines, letting ICE do their job, he wouldn't be dead right now. But he wanted to be a crusader, and he wanted to help people that effectively stole tax money from him. And that's another thing about the left that makes this even fucking crazy to me. This should be a nonpartisan issue. Every single American citizen on in this country should be fuming at the fact that these people stole our money, because it's our money. But they're not. They'll bitch about how much taxes are being taken out of their paychecks every week. But they don't know, nor do they care where it goes. We need to wake up, people. We really do. There's a big part of me that says we're too fucking far gone at this point. What I saw during COVID, I lost all faith in the American citizen at that point. What I saw, that there were so many people that said that they were like me, conservative, liberty-minded, freedom-minded, that just bent the knee to the system and didn't fight back. It makes me sick to my fucking stomach. And now these people, they look back and they're like, man, I wish I would have never done. I wish I would have. Well, not everybody's you, Rob. Well, maybe everybody should be. Maybe we should all be a little more, I don't know, self-reflective. I'm not saying this is me. I'm just saying maybe we should all stop the groupthink, start thinking for ourselves. Don't just listen to what the government tells you to do and just lap it up, suck it all down, drink the fucking Kool-Aid and go along with the fucking program. Be a fucking individual. Think for yourselves. I don't give two flying fucks what anybody says. I question everybody. I fight with my own friends constantly because when they say something and I go, nah, shit, that shit ain't fucking jiving with me. No, fuck that. I'm not jumping on board that shit. Too many people are just, happily go along with the program because it's easier that way. It's easier for them to go through life with the government's big dick in their ass than to fight them to pull it out. Just, all right, whatever, man. It is what it is, man. You can't really change it. That's just the way things are. No. I'm not doing it. And with that, thank you guys for listening to the monologue. To the people that are watching right now, we are doing an X space. If you go to my profile at the Rob1772, you'll see that there is a space. Click on that, join. If you want to get in on the conversation, click a request, click the little microphone button, request up, grab a mic, raise your hand, and my co-host, Winona, will be there to call on you, or I will be able to call on you. And again, I want to thank everybody who watches the show, who supports the show, who supports me doing this. I say all the time, I would have never in a million years ever thought that I would be doing something like this. But there are people that actually like me, which is fucking weird because I'm not easy to like. But that said, we're going to go over to the space. Hello, co-host Winona. How are you?
Fine. How are you doing, Rob?
I'm doing all right. I've been awake for, I don't know, 24 some odd hours now. I've been plowing this shit show of a storm. I'm sure there's no snow by you. Winona, there you go.
Yes.
You got to remember to hit your mic open again, Ken.
I know.
I think you're worse at that than I am, man. I do that shit all the time, but now it's you.
Yes, it is a technical issue. But yes, we had a light storm. And we thought we were going to have more ice than what we received. But we're doing good now. A whole lot better than it was at the beginning. So how many did you get? How many inches of snow did you get, Rob?
Yeah, I'm glad you said snow because I was going to make a fucking funny comment. So I think we're at about 20 right now. There was about 15 or 16 when I woke up this morning. I think we got another 5, and it's supposed to go until like 9, 10 o'clock tonight. So I think all in all, I think we're going to get about 21 inches. And it's been nothing but plowing all day. Not the kind of plowing I want to do.
Right.
You turned bright red. I can see it through the screen. You turned bright red. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Oh man, listen, we're so serious all the time. We're so just full of like anger and vitriol and it's just miserable and shitty. And sometimes you just got to inject levity into the situation, just to lighten the mood. Adam, what's going on, bro? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. I heard you're getting 12 inches of snow in Farmer. I lick it boom boom down. Sorry, I had to do it. You remember that old rapper from like friggin' 90s, Snow or what?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh, man.
Oh my God, now I feel fucking old.
Right. But yeah, I agree with you, man. With the car monitoring tracking thing, we're like that. They've been trying that for a long time. That I saw, they first started like trying to make people used to it with like OnStar and things like that. You remember Die Hard 3, like that kid, the car, he like made the airbag blow up, and he hit the OnStar, and he's like, "Oh, my family member's injured. Please help me start the car for me." And then they started the car. Yeah, it's like that they've been programming that into people's minds, and people are accepting of things. They become sheeple. So yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I'm totally against that. I've still got my 2000 Mercedes ML 320. I've got junkyard parts like I've stacked up. So I've got my zombie apocalypse vehicle ready to roll. But yeah, I saw something recently from Nick's order that Greg Bavino has been relieved of his duty. I don't see anything else official. I don't see anything from his account.
Well, I'm
but
going to
that's
check
it
right
from
now.
his sources. Yeah, but that's outrageous. Like that guy's been, like the man, not for nothing, bro. I love that guy, and I hope he remains in that position because they need it for morale.
No, he hasn't been relieved. He's been ordered out of Minnesota, out of Minneapolis.
Oh, that's it? Oh, okay. All right. All right. I was about to say, man, like, what the hell? What are we doing here?
Yeah. Why is this? I really hate these damn commercials. All right. I know you guys could hear this. Hold on one second. I'm going to skip this. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's not. Let me do this so that the people that are watching can see it and hear it too, because it does me no good. There we go. Yes, that's what I want to do. Okay, I'm going to add this to the scene right now. This is, all this backside production stuff. It's hard to do while you're doing it live. All right, let's see. And you guys could hear that in the space, right? Okay.
You played it earlier?
So the Attorney General talking about that early on Monday. And we do have some major developments right now out of Minneapolis. This comes just days after a tragic weekend there in the Twin Cities. Democratic leaders calling for Border Patrol and ICE agents to be removed from their communities. And it appears there's a big shift that is actually happening. The Washington Examiner, Anna Gianartelli, a reporter that we've had on here on Live Now from Fox, reporting just that Border Patrol agents, ICE agents, will be departing. She says she has confirmed that all Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis are being sent home. DHS, CBP have not responded to an email. This comes after federal sources told me that over the weekend, agents were told their deployment will be extended into February. Major changes in 24 hours. And of course, this also comes after a phone conversation. President Trump did speak with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz this morning. They said they did have a good conversation, a good phone call, and also President Trump, the White House, announcing that there would be changes to the leadership in the Twin Cities. His border czar, Tom Homan, now will lead that, and we'll see what it exactly looks like with this new report that Border Patrol agents being sent home. As of major developments after, like I said, a very tragic weekend, as border czar Tom Homan will oversee operations. Not exactly sure if Tom Homan had the call on this, President Trump, or who else was involved with all of this. But we do know from that hearing in court earlier on today that there were more than 3,000 federal agents in Minnesota, part of that Operation Metro Surge. This according to the attorney.
Well, there you people have it. All of a sudden it's really dark in here.
Mr. Patriot, can I speak on this?
I'm also doing a live broadcast right now too. So hold on one second, Patricia. We will call you in 1 second. Your hand is up, so thank you very much for having your hand up. Our Border Patrol agents have been ordered out of Minneapolis. This is not fortuitous, I guess you could say. Patricia, go ahead, and you had your hand up.
This is really difficult. Thank you for giving me the mic, Mr. Patriot, our host. I appreciate that you let me come along. I didn't even know about what happened on Saturday with the second man who was killed. I forgot his name.
His last name
And
was Pretty.
pretty.
Pretti.
Yeah, pretty.
Pretty.
And the thing is, he showed up, and the thing is, I'm just going to explain this to you. I don't even, I'm really sorry what happened to that man. But, during the 2020, I call it the shutdown, and people call it the COVID-19, whatever. When we were shut down during that period of time and I was isolated from my mom, I did do, for the first time in my life ever, I I took posters and I went to the Bill Stadium. I stood outside the offices of our state, our local government authority. I stood outside of hospitals, and I had my stuff there. I had things. There's pictures of me doing that, and my daughter was there as well. And the thing is, one of the things that I never did, I never threw anything at an officer. I didn't step off the curb. I did everything. Like, we have the right to assemble. That's what I'm trying to say. We do have the right to assemble and protest anything. And back in 2020, I was protesting all the people that I knew that were supposed to be like vaccinated, all my nurse friends that didn't want to get vaccinated. So I did all that and I stood up for that because to me it was really important. And my daughter, who sad about this whole thing yesterday, I reminded her, I says, do you remember when I stepped out the curb in front of the Buffalo Bills Stadium and the officer, he said to me really politely, he says, ma'am, you got to stay on the curb. Don't come out in the street. And the only reason I came out in the street was there was a whole group of people there. And I said, oh, thank you. I'm so sorry. And I did what I was instructed to do. I didn't put myself in front of traffic. I didn't have a gun. Nothing. We assembled. That's the whole thing. You can assemble, but you can't stop the traffic. You can't get in the middle of the road and stop traffic. And in the meantime, we did have law enforcement on the ground at that one thing at the Buffalo Bills Stadium, and we just followed instructions. We were not doing anything against LEO at all. And this is the thing that people don't realize. Yes, you have the right to assemble, but you do not have the right to block traffic.
Nope.
And you do not have a right to step in front of LEOs. They're doing their jobs. So I was going to land that there.
Well, this is, had you listened to what I said at the very beginning, you might not have taken a mic. I am not pro law enforcement. Okay, I'm vehemently opposed to law enforcement. I am not a fan. I have never been. I have watched law enforcement violate people's natural rights for years and years and years, especially in the Second Amendment community. But if there was ever a time for us to get in LEO's face, would have been during COVID, when they were all too happy to arrest people for walking on a fucking beach. Like that's what I'm talking about. These are the things. But when LEO was actually doing what they're supposed to do, get rid of criminal illegal aliens. No, you're not supposed to get in the middle of that. If you're a conservative and you voted for President Trump, part of that was to get rid of these illegals, mass deportations, right? That's what we voted for. We voted for relief in our taxes, mass deportations. We voted for a ton of things. We voted for what he was saying was going to be the most pro Second Amendment administration in history. We haven't gotten that either. But again, another story for another time. We're talking about Minnesota right now.
And Patriot, that's the most important thing is that if you're like, I got pulled over for speeding 2 years ago. My mom passed. I was speeding. I got pulled over, and that officer was so polite to me. And he actually went and looked up and he saw my mom's obit. And he was so cool. I said, I'm so upset right now. I had to travel back up, came down to get clothes, and moved back up to help my sister out with my mom's passing. And he was so chill. He said, and all he said to me was, I'm going to let you go. Please travel safe. I understand
Yeah,
you're
and
upset.
what if you don't mind, what state are you in?
I'm in New York State.
You're in New York State. Were you
Yeah.
in the city? Because that's not typical of.
No, I'm not in the city.
Okay.
I'm down in Chautauqua. I'm in Chautauqua County. And this officer of the state, he was wasn't a state trooper. It was a sheriff that pulled me over. And he actually came back to me. I love what he said to me. He said, I just saw your mom's obit. He actually read it because I told him the absolute truth. And he looked it up and he said to me, it was so cool. He said, my mom passed away 2 years ago. And thank you. Your mom wants you to travel slower. Just get up there, be safe. And he let me go. And I thought that was so cool. I
So
thought that was a
Saturday night,
beautiful thing.
I was filling up my truck because of the amount of snow that we got up here up in New Hampshire. And I pulled into a local gas station and I go inside and I'm grabbing some drinks and stuff. And I come out and there's a sheriff's truck behind my truck. And I was like, oh, well, I just figured he was getting gas. And I walk up to my truck and he's outside. He's running my plates. I said to myself, what fucking now? And I go, hey, Sheriff, what's going on? And he goes, hey. And he goes, oh, hey. And he had remembered me from something else that was a positive thing. But anyway, he's like, he goes, I didn't know this was your truck. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, I pulled in because when I pulled in, I saw that you had some rust on your bumper. Now, the guys that installed my LED lights did not install them the right way, and they leaked, and the cancer has spread around the LED lights that are in my bumper. So I have a new bumper that needs to go on, and I just haven't put it on yet. And he's like, yeah, I was going to write you a ticket for it, but he goes, no, don't worry about it. Just get it fixed. And this has been like any kind of run-ins that I have up here. But in Massachusetts, if that was a Mass State Trooper, that dude would have absolutely towed my vehicle, 100%. And this is where I get, I won't, like, if I get pulled over, which I very rarely, I think I've only been pulled over twice in my life. And I don't just, even though I'm not a fan of being inconvenienced by them pulling me over, I'm not a disrespectful asshole. You run your mouth to me, I don't give a fuck who you are, cop or not, you're going to get it back. Just because you wear a badge doesn't automatically mean I have to fucking respect you, and I'm not going to do that. But just as a human being, if you come up to me and you go, hey, sir, you were going a little fast back there. All right, sorry, officer, here you go. Here's my license. I'm not arguing with the guy. Okay, cool, whatever. And most of the time, and most of the people that I talk to that have ever had run-ins like that, if as long as you're respectful, 9 times out of 10 they're going to be like, all right, man, just slow down, whatever, and take off. I don't have any reason to be a fucking cockbag to them right from the fucking get.
And that's the most important thing is like, when the officer came up to me, I had my hands on the wheels, what I'm supposed to do. And then when he comes out of the car, my hands were on my wheels. So I wasn't reaching for anything. And he let me go. And this thing that just happened, I didn't even know what happened Saturday until yesterday. Because I don't listen to the news a whole lot. But the thing is, if you are and the thing is, I'm respectful of law enforcement. I really am. And I respect what's going on with all the stuff going on with illegals here, and I will follow the law. And I have gotten out there back in the past, during the 20 shutdown, I was, out there with my posters and, stop the shots because I didn't do the shots and all that kind of thing. And I was in front of the Bills Stadium and, went all over the place, but we followed. You're allowed to assemble, but you are not allowed to block traffic.
No.
Stay on the curb. And if an officer says to you, like one officer said to me back in the day, he goes, "Ma'am, I walked across onto the road to get around a crowd of people." And he said, "Ma'am," ma'am is, when they say ma'am to me, it means you're old, and I'm old. So that's fine. But anyways,
Well,
all he said was,
Go ahead.
all he said was, "Ma'am, please stay on the sidewalk." And I did that. And I said, "Thank you. We don't want you to get hurt, and we don't want to obstruct traffic." And it was from an officer that was kind of policing things. And I respected them. And guess what? I never obstructed the LEOs that were there, because I would never do that. And I think that's the most important thing.
Well, thank you, Patricia. Before we go to you, Corey, Patty just came into the show. Actually, it's everybody. Look, it's Kim Coulter.
Well, I fixed it.
Did you fix it? Okay.
Fixed it. Yeah.
I'd like to figure out what the hell's going on with my camera, dude. It keeps fading from light to dark, light to dark. I got 2 lights on the thing. I don't know what the hell it's doing right now. I don't know why it started doing that just now.
And I'm reversed for some reason.
I have no idea, because you came in on Kim's.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Is my camera reversed?
Yes, it is. You are. Yeah. No, because that thing that's usually behind you, the cover of your heater is on your left side from what I'm looking at, when it's normally on your right side.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Love the light show.
It happens.
All right, so we were talking about this earlier, and we don't really get to get down to brass tacks because we're too busy busting each other's balls. We're too busy fucking yelling and screaming at one another to have like any kind of normal conversation about this whatsoever. And I am not a fucking bootlicker, first of all. Not even close. I am not a fucking bootlicker. Patty, I want to try to impress this upon you. Very rarely are things exactly as you see. There is nuance to everything. There's nuance to belief systems. When I say, and I have to explain this to you so that we can have this conversation, when I say to you that I'm anti-government, I am one of those constitutional conservatives. I have always been anti-government. I'm anti-law enforcement. That comes, the nuance part, that comes from a place of never seeing my government work for me or the American people in the time that I have been voting. I have seen the United States government kill 76 innocent men, women, and children at Waco. I saw what they did during Ruby Ridge. I saw what our government allowed to happen with the USS Liberty. I saw what happened, our government's response to World Trade Center the first time, and then what our response is to the second time. Every single one of those times, they've used it as a way to come down on us and restrict our freedoms, our sovereignty, and our liberty. This has been my entire life watching this, okay? So, of course, as a conservative, as somebody who believes that I am a conservative, and I'm somebody who is maximum freedom, minimalist government, less laws on the books, right?
Yeah.
I can't support law enforcement because I've seen them use that to subjugate my natural rights.
Sure.
I voted for it. Patricia, hold on one second. I actually have somebody on the show with me right now that I've been waiting for to come in, so I'm going to get to him first. So when I say that I support ICE doing this, we, the people who voted for Donald Trump and this Republican sort of, which I don't believe, they're all two sides of the same coin, and I believe that. But this Republican government, our mandates were pretty fucking simple. And one of those mandates, and a major one, was mass deportations.
Right.
There are too many illegals in this country that are stealing, robbing, raping, murdering, dealing drugs. Our own citizens are doing it too. I'm not saying that we're not, our own people aren't doing that. I'm just saying.
Understood.
But you're an illegal immigrant. You came in this country. You have nefarious ideals about what you want to do in this country. And specifically, we're talking about the Somalis that are in Minnesota right now that have all been a part of this Ponzi scheme that comes down from the top, comes from the Obamas, the Clintons, the Bidens, and everybody that gave them billions of dollars. Walt is complicit in this. There's no doubt about it. These people know that they were getting money for running businesses that don't actually even exist. So they know. They're not stupid, okay? Even though the collective IQ of fucking Somalia is 70. And that's actually a fact. So these people I want gone. Somebody's got to do it. How do you enact mass deportations out of thin air? Do we just say, hey, we wish you go home. We're deporting you right now and expect that they're going to do that on their own? We need a force of people to do that. We need people to go in, arrest them, process them, and send them packing. And because now it's ICE, what would it be if we had the U.S. Marshals doing that? My point is, there's got to be some kind of support for something that I voted for. I voted for mass deportations. Somebody's got to do it. And the people that are hindering them from doing their jobs are the ones that are causing the problems. It's not ICE that are causing the problems. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Let me posit this, though, and tell me what you think about this, right? From my perspective, what happened was the Trump campaign decided to promise mass deportations like you're looking for. And then they said at the same time, they said, well, to assuage, people who were concerned about there being, deportations of non-criminals and stuff like that. They said, well, we're going to go after the criminals. We're the drug dealers, the MS-13 gang members, the human traffickers and things like that, which I think we all agree, like definitely those people should be out of the country and deported and prosecuted. Then they got into office and realized those people are really hard to catch. They're hard to catch because they're hardened criminals and their entire life depends on not being caught, right? So when they couldn't get the numbers, the mass deportation numbers of the type of people they said they were going to deport, they had to juice the numbers by saying, all right, well, we got to go to the Home Depot parking lot and grab a bunch of these people up because we got to get the numbers right.
Yeah, but Patty, I don't want those people working on my job sites. I don't want them there. Their standard of construction is way lower than ours, and they fuck shit up. I want them gone. I didn't vote for just MS-13. I voted for all of them.
You understand if we get rid of, take construction out, even though I don't think we should, but take construction out. You think the U.S. agricultural system can exist in the way it is and we can pay the prices that we do for eggs and milk and all that stuff without illegal labor? You know damn well we can't.
I think we could.
Oh, how?
I absolutely think we could.
You're gonna get American-born workers to go and pick lettuce.
No, they won't.
Cows?
Which is sad.
We
definitely
can do that when we start relying on like our local farmers. Oh, listen, we can do.
Well, there's no local farmers in Boston. There's no local farmers in Manhattan.
Well, then you have to start supporting them.
So
because I live in New York State. I get my beef local, I get my chickens local,
Patricia,
and I get my
and
eggs
all of
local.
those people who are doing that are illegal immigrants, mostly. I mean, come on,
No,
you know
they're
that.
not.
You have to know that.
No, these are family-run farms that I'm getting my
Who are
stuff
hiring
from.
illegal immigrants, and if they can't hire illegal immigrants,
no, they're
they'll
not.
go out of fucking business.
No,
that's what's going to happen.
We
all know
sorry,
this.
You're
Farmers are saying this.
Okay,
You're
Patricia,
incorrect.
the way we do the live show is that we wait until our hands are called. My friend, thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
But who was just speaking about getting food
so
from
that's
other
Patrick
places?
Riley. He's another host on our network. Because if I will explain to you that there is an actual live show with cameras and in a studio, and we have also a studio audience. You guys are the studio. This is not just a standard space.
And Mr. Patriot, I want to tell you,
it's just
that
Rob.
Locally,
You can just call me Rob. It's fine.
Rob, you can call me Patricia. So, anyways, locally. We get our beef locally. I used to
Yeah.
raise chickens. I don't do it anymore, but we get our eggs locally. Everything is local. And this
Well,
is the most
where I
important.
live in New Hampshire, there's no illegal immigrants working on farms up here. So, and we do it.
No, and these are just all like regular people I know, and they're not hiring
So,
any
but
illegal
Patty,
people.
we can do it, and you know how we can do it? Automation. We don't need them. We don't need them.
No, what we can do,
Patricia,
No,
I need to finish my conversation with Patrick. Can you just hold on 1 second, please? Thank you. Automation will take the place.
Yeah.
If American citizens don't want to work in farms,
I don't know
which
how
they
you
don't.
automate.
You're right. You're right. They don't want to till fields. They don't want to pick fucking what is that? Pecans. They don't,
Can
all
you
the
pick a pecan?
yeah, they're trees, dude.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pecans.
Pickled
Like,
pecans, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Dude, I actually drove through these pecan fields when I was out in New Mexico. I went to El Paso and I went over the Rio Grande and I ended up driving through this grove of like pecans. I ended up having to pull over and find out what the hell are these trees? I'd never seen anything
When
like
you
them
grew
before.
up, did you call them pecans or pecans?
Yeah, they're pecans. There's pecan pie, dude.
Yeah, I call them pecan pie.
No, you know what, dude? I just got
They're
so
called,
much.
if you,
I just got
Northern
so much shit from
California, they're
Southerners
called
that you
pecans.
can't call them pecans. You got to call them pecans.
Yeah.
No, they're called pecans in Northern California.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a live show going, Patricia. Come on.
And it's glitching. The space is glitching. Ugh. The space is glitching. She's gone. So yes, automation could take their place. Fairly simply. I don't think you can automate. We don't need illegals. What we need are people that want to come here, be a part of this experiment, be a part of America, be a part of American exceptionalism, and be a part of the economy. Not take their money and send it back to Mexico or wherever they're sending their money back. They're getting
you come from the Bronx, right?
Like, and these people are working. Right? These people are working under the table. They're not paying any taxes. Okay, whereas I get fleeced if I send over $601 to somebody on fucking if somebody sends me $600 on what do you call it, Cash App immediately fucking reports them, and I'm taxed on that $600 fucking dollars.
Well, I think that's a ridiculous amount of money to spend for your dick pics. But the point that I'm trying to make,
it's totally worth it.
The point that I'm trying to make here is that, like,
listen, it ain't John Holmes, but it is like
when your family came here, you're Italian. When your family came here, generations ago, they came to New York.
Only a half a generation ago,
settled in
actually.
the Bronx, right? And the idea that we should assimilate immedately is completely belied by the fact that there's a thing called Little Italy, right? There's Chinatown,
right? But have you
about
been
every big city? So like generations of people to assimilate. It doesn't happen right away.
And
it
how
doesn't
long
happen immediately.
Listen, my grandparents came over here. My mother was born in Italy. She came over here when she was 3. All of my grandparents were born in Italy. They came over here. They assimilated. The very first thing my grandfather did was he wanted to learn English. He never really spoke Italian in the house unless they were talking about me and how bad I was being. Then when they started speaking Italian, I knew that I was, I was acting as an asshole. Yeah. Gumbats. Svachim was the other one too. Svachim all the time. Svachim, stunad.
You were told to start to zit constantly.
Start to zit and fanabla. That like, so when they started the only time they spoke Italian was when, baby Rob was acting as an asshole. Not much has changed. I beat you to it. But no, my grandfather, he came over here and the first thing he did, he went into the army. Yeah. When he got naturalized as a citizen, when he became naturalized, he joined the fucking army. Yeah. And I actually have his uniform.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I served with a whole bunch of guys, on my ship who, on the USS Tortuga, starting in 2000, who, were not U.S. citizens at the time, guys who came from, South America, guys who came from, Central America, guys who came from Mexico, and wanted to be citizens. And the way that they got to be citizens was serving, and they
Right.
do
And
a
I think
certain
that's
amount of
perfectly
years.
fucking valid, dude.
Yeah, well, you know what? You think that's perfectly valid, and I agree with you on that. But there are a lot of people in this administration who say that, we should just shut off immigration altogether, and those people shouldn't be eligible for legal status. And I think that's wrong. I think we've gone a little bit too far. I understand the idea that we don't want to have illegal immigration in this country. I agree with you on that. I really do. I'm not bullshitting you. I really seriously think that illegal immigration is illegal and it shouldn't be allowed. But what I think we have to do is to be able to apply a reasonable standard across the board about what is and is not, criminal illegal immigration. Like if you're trying to bring drugs into the country or bring guns into the country, or you're
Just
doing this, that, or the other.
illegal immigration. Just the very first word in that, dude. You're breaking one of our laws by sneaking in this country. Could you get away with?
But this is a
could you get away with
misdemeanor.
sneaking? Could you get away with sneaking into fucking Russia? What would happen to you?
Well, first of all, who wants to sneak into Russia?
I don't know. Have you seen some of those Russian women? Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, but you can get them in Brighton
come
Beach, and you know that from being from New York. Like, yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like,
There's nothing like
I'm
authentic Russians, though.
I'm just saying, like,
I would go to
think
Russia.
that we have to have a reasonable expectation that, look, this is the greatest country in the world. This is the land of opportunity. I believe that firmly, both of those things. And that means that people want to come here. And some people are going to be desperate enough to come here, even if they can't get here legally. They're going to say, well, where I'm at is so miserable that I'm going to take a chance, and even if it kills me, I'm going to try and get here and get my family here. And I find it difficult to find fault with those people. I can't find it in my heart to be angry at somebody who just wants to live a better life, man. I just don't, I can't find it in my heart to do that.
But they need to assimilate to our culture and our standards.
Okay.
And the Somalis do not. Show me any Somali community that has even tried to assimilate to this country. You can't, dude. You can't. Especially that the community we're talking about now in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
There is no assimilation with those people. They have been fleecing us for billions of dollars. They know what they're doing. They're not innocent in this. They're not just like a bunch of dumb spear chuckers that go, oh, money, 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 money. It's not what it is. They're like, oh, and they
700 million at the airport.
Jeff, hold on. We're still live, bro. We're still live.
Hi, Jeff. Though I recognize Jeff's voice.
Yes,
Nice
yeah. Jeff, hold on 1 second, bro. I know you're fucking chomping at the bit to get in there, brother. I know, and I promise I'll get to you, dude. I always do. It's all right. So we got Seuss. She lives in The Hague, and they're going. The Muslims are invading her country. She can't go out and walk at night. Okay, they're not assimilating to that culture. They're not assimilating to the Netherlands culture. They're trying to dominate it and make it their own. They don't have a right to do that. Nobody has a right to come here and try to subvert American culture. Our culture. We do have a culture in this country. Our language is English.
What is our culture?
We're white slave owners, dude. I mean, come on now. You know that just as well. Come on. Hey, listen, I'm just beating you to the punch, motherfucker, all right? Like, I know. Dude, we believe in freedom. We believe in our sovereignty. We believe in getting up and work. Yeah, I know I do.
Okay.
I know I do. But I don't believe that sovereignty and those freedoms that I enjoy as an American citizen who has paid into this system his entire fucking life.
Yeah.
I don't believe that they should be allowed to have that same liberty and sovereignty. It doesn't extend to them. It extends to you. You have bought and paid into the system. You have worked into the system. We have all sort of been system pigs our entire fucking lives. These people are doing nothing but being sacrificed. They are literally sucking the life force from our country. They're taking
But who
our
are you
money.
talking about specifically? Because
I'm talking about the Somalis in fucking Minneapolis right now. That's who I'm talking about right now.
Somalis
yes, because we're talking because all of this. Yes, because all of this is what we're talking about now is going on in Minneapolis.
You're not talking about immigrants in general.
I'm not talking about immigrants. That's what made this country fucking great is immigrants. We're all fucking immigrants in this country. Even the Native Americans are immigrants in this fucking country.
Oh.
And it's provable.
Okay. Well, setting that aside, what I would say is that I think there's an attitude about people who, come here from other countries at this point that didn't exist like 20 years ago. We didn't used to get pissed off that the dishwasher or the waitress or the gardener or the construction worker
Some of us did.
Was Mexican. And didn't have a legal right to be here. We didn't used to get this enraged about this stuff. And what I want to ask you, honestly, because I don't know the answer to this, and I would like you to tell me if you know, why now are you angry about this?
I've always been angry about it. I actually had the police come and not me personally, but my job site foreman. I was working in Middleborough and we were doing a fire gut. And they ended up hiring without my knowledge. I was just the project manager. I wasn't the GC on the job. They hired a Brazilian framing crew, and they were all Brazilian. None of them spoke fucking English, and they were breaking into houses around Middleborough. I was off Rocky Meadow Street, and they started breaking into houses on their lunchtime, and they framed this fucking house. These poor people had their house burned down to the ground, and it was framed. They had no clue how to read fucking plans, and this was in 2008. I have been screaming about this my entire fucking life. Me, personally, especially on construction sites, I don't allow anybody who's got any illegals whatsoever on any of my construction sites, and I never fucking have. I have certain fucking subs that I use that think exactly like me, will not hire fucking illegals. And I've managed to do it for 30 years. If I can, other people can.
Yeah, but you understand the economics of this situation is that most people, I understand where you're coming from, but most people who own businesses similar to yours aren't going to do that. They won't care.
Yeah,
and
no,
that's
you're right. No,
That's
yeah,
dude,
you're not. No, of course, you're not getting a fucking argument from me on that one. Yeah, these guys are like, oh man, I pay this motherfucker $10 an hour that I'd have to pay a white guy or an American fucking $25 an hour. Rah rah rah. Yeah. Rob, you're doing it wrong. That's the reason why you're fucking broke, kid. No. I'm broke because I choose to be broke. Then I guess, motherfucker, because I'm not hiring them. The money is not worth it. I'm not going against my morals and my fucking principles ever for anything or anybody when it comes to fucking money. I'm not doing it.
And I hear you, man, and I applaud that. But what I'm saying is, if everybody were to take that attitude that you have, which I think is the right attitude, were to do that, then our economy would utterly collapse.
You think that if we got rid of every single illegal in this country right now, our economy would collapse?
Completely collapse.
Bro, come on, man. You and I have some really salient fucking intelligent conversations. I honestly, truly think, other than you saying you could kick my ass, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Okay. First of all, I've got plenty of other dumb things that can come out of my mouth that would probably, be better than that. But what I'm saying,
so far, this is the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard you fucking say, bro.
No, I'll tell you some shit later. But what I'm saying is, if we got rid of all the illegal workers who are doing agriculture, if we got all the illegal workers who are doing hospitality out of the country, if we got all the construction workers who are illegal out of the country, the economy would collapse. And I don't know how you could possibly argue against that. Do you have an argument that can change my mind?
Yeah. It would force these companies to restructure and actually pay a living fucking wage to people doing those jobs.
That sounds like communism to me.
No, not force them to. Listen, all right, so here we go. Company
This
X.
is Bernie shit right here.
No, it's not. Whoa, no. This is capitalism, dude. This is capitalism.
You walked right into it.
I didn't walk right into it because I believe this. Company X makes $100 billion a year, right? What they pay in salaries for people to work for Company X is $10 million, right?
Okay.
Outside of everything else, they probably spend on everything involved probably $60 million. They're pocketing $40 billion a year, right?
Okay. If
they took another $10 billion and paid a living wage and put $30 billion in their pocket instead of 40, the economy's not going to fucking crash. They would be forced to have to pay people a living wage to work at a fucking job.
Well, what would they also have to do?
If it's important enough for them to want to get rid of these criminal, illegal aliens and not have them working for them, but no, it is. Most of these corporations, it's too easy. Perfect example, the Phoenix. There was not one legal immigrant in that hotel cleaning our hotel rooms.
Yeah, no, guaranteed, yeah.
And they're probably getting paid the absolute minimum wage. Nobody can live on $9 an hour. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Like that's
especially not in DC.
That's not in DC. And if that's what I don't know what the average wage is, but you're not living on $9 an hour in fucking Boston.
You left out the most important part, is that for companies to do any of that, they've got to pass the cost on to somebody else, which is going to be the consumer. So we're going to pay more for that hotel room. You're going to pay more. I would pay more
for the hotel room if it was all American workers. I would.
Yeah, you would, and maybe I would too. But most people are going to be like, Jesus Christ. People shop at Walmart and buy Chinese goods because they cost nothing. And the reason that they cost nothing is because China pays slave wages, right?
Yes.
And we can afford that stuff. So instead of buying, an American-made washing machine, you're going to buy a Chinese-made washing machine at Walmart that costs half the price because it's made by people who are basically doing it, barefoot.
Did you hear how he said it? Washing machine. That was totally Boston. Holy goddamn, dude.
Sorry. Hey, what am I going to do? This is where I'm from. So,
cocksucker.
Anyway, and by the way, it's Providence, not Boston. But, anyway, the thing is that unless we're willing to pass the cost on to the consumer, then this is all a moot point. You have to be willing to say, yeah, we're going to kick all the illegal immigrants out of the country, but you're going to have to pay $15 for that sandwich instead of $10 for that sandwich.
Think I can speak.
If you're willing to do that. The American people are going to be like, no, I'd rather have the illegal immigrants here.
I don't know about that. I think
making the sandwiches.
I think one section of the community would, but not all.
Really, you want to take a vote on that? Because
actually,
I'm pretty sure you'll lose.
I think I can pretty much speak for all of conservatives when I say this statement. Just this statement is that we're all not stupid enough to believe that we can get all 30 or 40 million illegals out of this country. We know this. We're not stupid.
Yeah, that's
none of us believe that. But you know what?
I didn't suggest that you did. But
why Minneapolis came under the microscope because of Ilhan Omar and all the shit that was going on in that state, right? All of the theft that they're finding. Doge did find all of that money. That's where a lot of this was stemming from. Okay, so we're focused on that now. These people need to be deported. Okay, we got off a little bit on a tangent here, but let's get back to what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Who deports these people? How do you get them and arrest them and process them and put them on planes or buses and send them back to their country, which is part of the getting rid of them, right? How do you do that? You have to have people that are empowered to do that, correct?
Yeah, sure.
And those people are ICE.
Right.
Whether I voted for ICE themselves or not, I voted for ICE. I voted for people that are in that position, in that law enforcement position, to enact the will of the people that put Donald Trump in office. This was one of the things that we all talked about constantly. Was the amount of illegals that came. Like, you've heard me say this before, Patty, and I think a lot of us agree on this. Yeah, you know what? All illegals got to go. But the lowly worker in a field who's never broken any of our laws other than coming in the country illegally, but this guy works for his fucking family. He goes home at fucking night. He goes and he puts money into the economy. somebody like that, yes, he came in here illegally. He has to be held accountable for that. But do I think he should be one of the first people on that list to go? No, absolutely not. I don't believe that at all, and I never have. And I think that, yes, and I've said this before, and you and I agree on this, that it's easier to go get that guy than it is to get the MS-13 guy or the Trendiago guy or whatever, because that's going to be a fucking gunfight.
Right.
But in that's a separate situation. We're talking about what happened in Minneapolis right now. This guy, if you watch the entire video from when it started, even before the ICE agent pushed the girl, the beginning of that video, Patty, they were trying to arrest somebody. This woman decided she was going to push this ICE agent and get in his face to try to stop him from doing what he was supposed to be doing as his job. He pushed her back. This dude decided he was going to be a fucking white knight simp and protect the fucking chick from the big bad ICE, when this guy's got a history of actually saying it on his Facebook, okay, that he's going to fight ICE every chance he gets. I believe 100% that if you go to a rally or you go to a protest, you have a right to carry a gun. If you're an American citizen, I don't even believe you need a license to do that. I think the licenses are illegal. Nobody's gonna come at me and say, oh, well, you know, any conservative goes, well, he didn't have a Minnesota license on him at the time, and that's illegal. Fuck you. Shut up. You're stupid. I'll fucking tell anybody straight the fuck out. Licensing is illegal. It is unconstitutional, therefore void. Fuck you. It is repugnant to the Constitution. So, I think most of us agree on that.
That's how you've always explained it to me, and I'm glad that you are consistent about it.
If he was standing there saying, holding a sign, and he was carrying, and they went over to him and fucked with him because they saw that he was carrying, I would have a problem with that. If he was not inserting himself into a situation where neither you or I would. Would you stand, Patty, seriously, as much as you are opposed to a lot of things, I know you're not a complete retard, okay? Would you try to stop ICE from arresting somebody?
No, because I know that would be ineffective, and it wouldn't do anybody any good. It wouldn't save the person. You can't save somebody from 6 ICE officers who are poorly trained, who are basically...
How do you know they're poorly trained? They're not.
Well, because I know I'll tell you why they were poorly trained. Because you got 6 guys swarming a dude on the ground when he's on his back, throwing haymakers at him. And anybody who's ever been trained in any kind of... Look, I'm not saying I had a whole lot of training as far as, physical security, but I was a collateral duty master at arms on my ship. And one of the things you get trained in is de-escalating and using the minimal amount of force. And even though we were always armed, you don't pull your gun unless you're going to use it, unless you have to use it, and you don't use more force than is necessary. And
Patty,
this was clearly unnecessary. Like, this is one guy on his back, and you got 6 guys who just really seriously want to kick somebody's ass. And that's just the way. That's the way it is,
dude. Come on, you're not there. Dude.
I've watched that video 150 times.
So have I. So have I. But you know what? You don't believe for one second that the precedent had already been set with ICE agents in that city, with them attacking them, following them around, throwing shit through their fucking windows, breaking into their cars, stealing their guns, stealing their laptops, fucking doxing them.
If you're a professional,
no.
If you're a professional, you don't take those kind of things into account. You deal with the situation as the situation presents itself. You don't get emotional about things that happened
wasn't emotional.
Or the day before to other people. Yes, I think it was emotional. And what I'm saying is,
so Patty,
they had the guy on the ground.
Here's
and
a
they had his
perfect
gun
example.
away from him.
And you're going to say it's because you're not a professional. You're going to say it's because you're not a professional. If somebody was fucking attacking you, and let's say me and all the guys, let's say somebody attacked you in D.C. because, there's Patty, the fucking liberal. I watch him on fucking, the news brief, and he's such an insufferable fucking lib shit, and we're going to kick his fucking ass, right?
Yeah, it might happen.
And the 6 of us jumped in and kicked the ever-living shit out of this motherfucker to have your fucking back because you're one of ours, right?
Yeah. You guys would know better than to shoot somebody that way. You guys would know better
All right,
to
Patty.
beat somebody like that.
I want this. I want you to see this. Okay. You see?
Yeah.
I know you can barely see. You see that? See what I'm doing with my sweatshirt? See what I'm doing with my sweatshirt?
Yeah, sure.
Somebody does that to me, I'm shooting him. I promise you, I am.
Well,
I don't know that there's a gun in there or not.
Well,
ultimately, at the end of the day,
gun.
I'm going home. I'm going home to my family.
Hey, man, I understand what you're saying, but they had his gun, and then they shot him, and there were 10 rounds fired. I don't know how many.
I thought it was 13. I counted 13.
Okay, all right.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. No, they lit him up, dude. They lit him up.
Yeah, but I mean, so I don't know how many officers fired how many rounds per person or whatever it was, but man, the guy was on his back.
The guy was reaching. Watch the video. He was reaching for his gun.
Reaching for the gun that he didn't have anymore because one of the ICE officers already had it out of his hand.
Right. He took it out of his hand after the round goes off. We watched the video today, dude. I mean, the round goes off. There is a long, distinct pause while they're saying gun, 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 gun. Those other guys don't know that this one dude is pulling the gun off of him. They don't know that he was. They didn't know he was disarmed. The gun went off. It was a negligent discharge. It was an ND. It wasn't accident. It wasn't accidental. There's a difference. There is a difference in the wording.
Well, I know the difference between an accidental discharge and a negligent.
Now, if it was the dude trying to fight to get his gun back, which is what it looked like to me. Mr. Guns and Gear did a fucking video on this, and he zoomed in on it. Yeah. And there's plenty of people. There's plenty of video out there.
I just really think that it's dangerous when we start saying that police brutality. In my opinion, this is police brutality.
No.
We get really, really close to just giving the police a blank check to do whatever in the hell they want. Yeah, well, maybe you don't, but I think maybe you're creeping a little towards it in this point, Rob, because I understand.
How am I creeping when I have to put?
I don't know, man.
What I was trying to say earlier on the show, and I wanted to say this when we did the grand jury, Joe Lanew's grand jury, right?
Yeah.
Again, I went in there, and Joe wanted me on there, and he put me on a panel with pretty much all of them were cops. Yeah. It was opinions vary. He was a former NYPD, and he put me on a panel with all cops because he knows how I feel about cops. I'm not shy about it. And every single one of those videos where this was a police shooting, I sided with the cop because I did one thing and one thing only. I put myself in that position.
Yeah.
Then I made him do the Daniel Shaver video where the kid was crying on the ground with his hands in his head and the cop fucking shot him in the hotel room. Do you remember that? You got to look that one up. Yeah. Okay. So I did not side with that cop, and that cop should be fucking have his fucking balls removed. Yeah. He should never be a fucking cop again. Okay. But I put myself in the position of the guy who was crawling in a fucking crawl space.
That's an extreme,
where the dude was doing this, saying, I'm going to shoot you, and he's got his hand in a plastic bag, and they shot him.
Yeah.
In that situation, you're in a fucking 2-foot crawl space. What would Rob do in that situation? And I'm telling you, if I could say right now that I would shoot somebody, I can't fault anybody else for doing it. That's where that comes from. Has nothing to do with me being a fucking bootlicker. I know you don't think that I am, but it doesn't. I put myself in this situation. If somebody was trying to run me over, I'm putting 2 in their chest and 1 in their fucking dome. I put myself in that situation because that's the only way that I can judge it. What would Rob do in this situation? And 99.9% of the times when all of these situations arise, Rob pulls his gun because he's going home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Dude,
want
I
to.
understand.
I don't look forward to that time.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. My argument about this whole thing, as far as Minnesota goes, the most recent Minnesota shooting goes, is that they didn't need to put themselves in any kind of stressful situation in the first place. The guy was taking video, right? They didn't know he had a gun until they tackled him and then realized, oh shit, he's got a gun.
He put hands on them.
Don't tackle him. Don't tackle him in the first place.
He put hands on them, Patty. Look again,
no, he
dude.
didn't.
Yes, he
Not
did.
until he got shoved to the ground. I mean, look, Rob,
because
we can watch the video over
he's
and over
he's
again.
standing
But
in front of them, impeding them. Dude, if somebody comes and impedes me,
have you never stood in front of a cop?
You goddamn right, I have.
And been like, "Fuck you," or done this. So what if you did
no,
with the gun? They'd have a right to take you down and shoot you? I don't think so.
If I'm trying to pull my gun out, absolutely. I would expect to get shot.
Yeah,
Whether they have
you show me on the video
whether they have a right or not, I would expect to get fucking shot. And all right, and you know what? We do have. There's a lot of people that want to talk to you, Patty. So we're going to get to those hands real quick.
All right. Here we go.
So I've been in airsoft for a very, very, very long time, 15, 16 years, right?
Here we go. This is going to be good, though, actually.
No. This is actually going to be good. The black kid in Detroit that was killed. What the hell's his name?
I thought you were talking about shooting me with the airsoft.
No. Where I know Corey was up here. Tamir Rice. Okay. Tamir Rice had an airsoft gun.
Right.
He pointed it at a cop. And the cop shot him
got shot in the playground. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And I was like, well, unfortunately, a child died, but it's the parents' fault. It's not the cop's fault.
Yeah, that was
the parents. It's the parents' fault. The parents did not. So they were like, "Oh, Rob, how would you feel if your son?" I almost said his name, but well, if your son got killed by a cop, and I said, "Well, then it's my failure. I'm fucking aware enough to say that I didn't teach my son properly not to point a toy gun that looks exactly like a real gun at a cop. And if they did kill my son, I wouldn't be mad at them. I would be heartbroken and I would hate myself because I failed as a fucking father not teaching my son the right way to fucking properly handle a fucking firearm."
Yeah, that situation, for people who don't know, is a really hard one to get pissed off about one way or the other, because obviously it's a tragedy, but that kid was brandishing what looked like, really to any reasonable person, like a real firearm.
Yes.
And it's hard to say that. The problem I had with it was the distance and the lack of proximity to any reasonable targets. Like, I mean, who is he going to shoot? But you could also say, hey, he shoots into a house and maybe he kills somebody.
Yeah, Patty.
Not necessarily aiming it. So it really was a gray area kind of thing. And I get that one. There's a reasonable people can disagree on that one more than I think a lot of the other shootings that have happened in the last 20 years.
So Sue says that she's going to book a flight. She needs to deliver my divorce papers to me, which I'm going to fight her on. But she's also while she's flying over here, she's coming over here to slap you. And she's a little tiny midget from.
She's going to slap me?
Yeah, she said I'm booking a flight to slap Patty.
Okay, you go to Logan. I'll give you my address.
Reno said that.
Okay,
Reno said he was going to fly up to Boston. All right, so listen, let's go to these hands real quick. Miss Lou was first. Frank, Grizzly, Donnie. And then back to Adam. So, Miss Lou, hello, my dear. How are you?
Hey, Rob. Great conversation. Thank you. Great space. I'll be real quick because I know you have other people.
She's going to get in and smack the shit out of you and leave.
What I want to say is that today, in my opinion, the right took a hard left. I think this Bovino thing, I think sending him off the beat, it was a big mistake. Now, maybe Trump has a move that, we don't know about. I'm glad Tom Holman's going there. But this is more than just, as you well know, just, riots and, defending billions of fraud by the state. It's a communist insurrection. This is an absolute red-green alliance planned for a long time. Podesta wrote about it in 2020, what they want to do, and they're playing it out. And, we've got squishy Republicans in D.C. who responded to letters from corporatists in Minnesota saying, you've got to back down. We back down, in my opinion, of Minneapolis in any way. We absolutely have a chance of losing the midterms, and I think we could even give them the rope to continue to go around the rest of the country. That's my opinion, and I just want to know what you think.
Miss Lou, I believe everything that we're witnessing right now is a fucking deep psyop. I think that everything that we're watching is designed to keep us not focused on the real enemy, and keep us hopelessly at each other's throats and paying attention to things that shouldn't fucking matter. So they drum up the hatred from the left with ICE. And then, we have this kill switch thing that's coming in February on our vehicles. And just about the entire government is all like, yeah, sure. If these sensors are reading your emissions from your vehicle, they can shut your car off. What? And Americans aren't paying attention with that shit. I think a lot of this rage and hyperbole is manufactured.
Well, I'd like to shut your emissions off.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Like not your vehicle emissions, but the emissions that come out of your mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
Several of
but
those.
I think listen, I think our government, left and right, two sides of the same fucking coin, and they don't care about you and I. I don't know if that exactly answered
I agree
your
with
question,
that, Rob, 100%.
but
I totally agree with that.
When I hear what you were saying, this is what I think in my head.
No, I agree with that. I don't think there's left-right anymore. I think there are people who want to save this country on one side and people who want to destroy it on the other. I think it basically comes down to that.
I think it's the government that wants to destroy what
our
our forefathers fought.
Writing strongly worded letters.
Yeah.
That's their usefulness. But I wanted to ask you also, think about it. We've got how many 20 some odd Republicans against the SAVE Act, against an act that is going to protect voter integrity.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow. Tony Gonzalez is one of them. I mean, so it's that's not espousing conservative values. Though those are people that are captured by big money PACs. And that's, again, against what our forefathers fucking fought and died for. And everybody's like, Rob, that's kind of an antiquated way to think. We're 250 years into the future from, the Revolutionary War, and, things are going to change. And no, I mean, the Constitution is probably one of the greatest documents ever written. As far as like human freedom goes. And, it should be, something that other countries, learn from and be like, all right, well, this is, but the problem is we don't, our people don't even know the fucking Constitution anymore. Our people don't, how many people actually know their state's constitutions? Like, they don't. No, people don't pay attention to that. I actually have a copy of my state's constitution. And there's like 9 in our Constitution that literally fucking strengthen, bolster, and codify the citizen militia in this fucking state. So it is absolutely fucking illegal for anybody in this state to go against the fucking the New Hampshire militias. But
there's also only 9 people in your state. So
107, 1.7 million, dude. 1.7 million. Get it right. Okay. Get it right. Frank, go ahead, my friend, and then we're going to go to Grizzly. Frank, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good seeing you, Rob. Hey, I wanted to tell Patty, there's a video I saw where that man that got shot, they show some still frames. They go frame from frame. He had drawn that gun. He had that gun in his hand. There was also, he discharged that gun, and the round hit the pavement from what I could see, and then that's when they brought him down. That's when they went gun, bam, and then they killed him. So I think if you try to keep finding the videos, you'll see where he unholstered that gun. Once you unholster the gun, you're fucked. You're done then.
Yeah, so, I would ask Rob to give his expertise on
I'm
firearms
here.
Because I'm not.
Listen, well, Patty, Frank is actually a professional 3-gun shooter.
Okay, yep, sure. But what
I saw in that video, and Patty, listen, If it was something different, dude, honestly, I'm being honest with you and everybody that's listening right now that's part of the space. If the situation was different, I can separate my complete dislike for the left for reality. And if the reality of the situation was that this guy did nothing wrong or advance in any way, shape, or form with this gun, I would sit here and have a problem with it, that he got shot to death. I can separate that as somebody who knows about firearm technology, who's been training pretty much the last 20 straight fucking years. Okay? Remember, Frank, just to let you know, I invited Patty with me. I'm going in March to do a simunitions training.
Oh, okay.
And gotcha. I'm bringing him to simunitions. I want to see how he reacts, and I honestly believe that in that situation, he's gonna change his tune about a situation like this. Because if you're in this situation, you don't know until you're in the situation. I've never been shot at, like, say, you in Vietnam. I've never been shot at like Reno was in Iraq. Okay, I don't have that lived experience, but I've gone into Op 4 trainings with simunitions. And that shit, the first time I ever did it, was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life. And that's the God's honest truth. Because I'm used to fucking airsoft and paintball. Now all of a sudden, you got real life firearms going off. And it sounds like a fucking 9mm going off. And when you get hit, it's like 100 times what it is getting hit by a fucking airsoft gun. So in that situation,
I had the damn common sense to join the fucking Navy to avoid all that nonsense. So I don't know,
he just wanted to get fucking reamed out by all the seamen. That's he was just like, listen, Patty, run a train on me, Riley.
One other comment I had to Patty. He was talking about, if the illegals are gone, who's going to get the produce out of the ground and this and that. There's machinery for that shit.
I think Rob said kind of a similar thing. Yeah.
Okay, there's machinery, and second of all, he's not. They're not talking about shutting off all foreigners from this country. Obama rather, when Clinton and Obama both shipped out millions and millions of people out of here,
combined 25 million, Frank.
Yeah. All right. So now, you're always going to have people to do that kind of work. It's not like we're just going to shut the country off.
No, you're right. I think that the solution is to have a guest worker program that actually works for Americans. Right?
And that's exactly how Obama put it, was that there's millions of people now that have paperwork to come here, but they can't come here because all these other people who came here illegally have infiltrated the country. We don't have room for the good
24 million people are in the queue right now, while 40 million came over illegally.
Right. So that's the problem.
I think we all agree on what the problem is. It's the solution that we got to work on. And I think
so. What's the solution if we don't have people empowered to arrest these people, process them, and deport them? What do? They're not going to self-deport.
Okay, fact, so I'm going to give the Trump administration credit right now for doing what the Biden administration was negligent about, was actually shutting down the border. I give him 100% credit for that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I give him credit for that. Okay, so that was the first step. I think the second step is to revise our guest worker program so that people can come here and work seasonally to pick strawberries and lettuce and things of that nature that Americans are not going to do, and then be able to go home with their money while they're here, pay taxes and be part of the American economy and provide us with cheap produce and stuff that we've gotten used to over the last, 80 years to do all that. And then go back home and then come back when the season starts again. And I think that's reasonable, but we just have to have a better program to do it. Right now, it's this stupid bureaucracy that doesn't really work. And so people decide, well, instead of going through all that stuff, I'm just gonna sneak across the border. Well, if they don't have to sneak across the border, if they can just show up at a port of entry and say, hey, I want to work here for 6 months, here you go. Knock yourself out.
And that's how it.
Thank you.
And that's how it did work in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it worked.
Sure.
Exactly
And
how
I
it
wouldn't
worked.
even have a problem with that. I wouldn't have a
No,
problem with
we
that.
can
And you know what? And I don't have
absolutely.
I don't have a problem with the people who have self-deported, and there hasn't been many, but giving them an easier path to citizenship and to come back. Those people, all right, you know what? Listen, we did come in here illegally. We own it. We're gonna leave. We do want to come back. Give them a way to come back. I'm okay with that.
We just solved the whole problem right here, the three of us.
Right, but you know what? There's people that don't want to go, like all of those Somalis that have been prospering from stealing our money. They don't want to go back to Somalia.
Right.
We don't want them here. Their culture is diametrically opposed to ours. They are incompatible with Western civilization.
Absolutely. They are incompatible with our Constitution, to get right down to it, because they don't believe in that. They don't believe in our Constitution. So that's Europeans came over by the boatloads and boatloads and boatloads, even Asians, and we've never had the problem that we have with assimilation. They didn't assimilate like Rob's family. Patty, I'm the second generation. I'm also Sicilian on both sides of the family. I am just the second generation.
Oh, there's a bunch of pasta niggers in here. Holy Christ!
Yeah,
I'm second generation from Ireland, and I lived in Italy for 2 years. Lived in Sicily for 2 years. Where in Sicily your family is from?
Termini and Maresa.
Okay, my family. I lived in Catania.
Okay.
Yeah. It's beautiful country. Beautiful.
Calabrese, motherfucker. Calabrese.
Yeah. So even at that, Patty, my sister, she's 70. She's younger than I am. She retired and she actually moved back to the town our family was from. Yeah, she had been going there for years, back and forth with mom until mom passed away, and then finally she decided to. She actually moved back there. But anyway,
and it's funny, Frank, what you said about Asians when they come here. For the most part, Asians are based to shit. They're escaping communism. Lily Tang Williams, I go to her all the time. Tony Moon, rooftop Korean, another perfect example of somebody who loves this fucking country. Okay, but you got Lily Tang Williams, who escaped communist China. Okay, she came here for a better life. She escaped there. She learned our language. She wants to run for Congress. She's a conservative. She's somebody who fucking loves the Second Amendment. She loves this country.
There you go.
Those are the type of people. Those are the type of immigrants.
Just like Mayor Wu.
No, get the fuck out. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. You knew it. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Give me a
fucking
break.
Psycho fucking. No white people are allowed at this fucking Christmas party.
She's
fucking
a
douchebag.
fucking moron.
Dude, well, she's a fucking moron, and you even know it.
I knew
too.
that was going to set you off.
I know that's why I gave it to you.
I couldn't resist it.
It's content and entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I can be a part of the content and entertainment part of this whole thing, even though I don't like it. The fuck, dude. And that's a funny thing too, because him and I have talked about Mayor Wu, and he thinks she's a fucking moron too. I know he thinks that. He's turning bright red right now. Yes, you absolutely did. Look at his face is turning fucking bright red because he fucking knew. He knows. Look at him. Look at him. That fucking Irish fucking red cheeked motherfucker, man, dude. You can fucking bullshit all you want, but you Irish motherfuckers turn red in your cheeks when you know you're full of shit. Say, Patty, listen, we're gonna end the live. If you want to come back over into the fucking space, that'd be cool, because my camera fucking died, dude. I gotta send this thing to the fucking camera shop and figure out what the hell's wrong with it.
I'm gonna go eat some dinner with the old lady, but maybe I'll pop back.
Well, then you do. Yeah, you do that. I don't know. I don't know how much longer I'll be going on the space, because I got a little lady that needs her dad. So, dude, thank you for coming on the show. I mean, listen, I'm trying to give you a perspective of, I know that there are a lot of people out there that are like, yeah, good, this motherfucker deserved to die for what he did. Okay. I think that he is the very definition of play stupid games, win stupid prizes. He should have been smarter and not put himself in that situation. Do I believe he had a right to carry a gun? I absolutely do. He's an American citizen. He had a right to carry a fucking gun. He has a right to exercise his Second Amendment, and he has a right to exercise his First Amendment. Okay, nobody should die for either one of those. But he put himself in a situation. I know that there are a lot of people that are like, "Raw, motherfucker should die," and I don't agree with those people. And then I don't agree with the conservatives that are saying that he shouldn't have been carrying a gun. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you on that.
There are moderates in this conservative movement that see the idiocy for what it is, but we also see the other side of it too. The guy shouldn't have gotten in the middle of that shit. And
I'm tired of them placing the officers as the adult and the man who was armed intentionally at that place as the infant who didn't have any responsibility of proper behavior in an environment where his weapon could not only hurt himself, but others around there. You have a moniker of behavior put upon you when you walk out that door with the weapon. That's all I'll say.
Listen, I'm also somebody who is as much of a Second Amendment absolutist as I am. I don't believe in open carry. I would never. I have my reasons for it, but I don't. I don't think people
That's
should.
Saturday at my Safeway, Rob. I'm in a country town,
dude. Here where I live, everybody open carries. It's just a thing. But for me, it's more of a tactical thing than anything else. Like I just don't open carry, and but again, another conversation for another time. But you have a right to, and I would never stop anybody from doing it. So listen, man, there is more to this because there is nuance to this situation. There's nuance to this entire thing that's going on right now, and we all, both sides, have lost sight of that.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right. And, before I go, I'll probably listen on the space for a little while, but I don't want to, get in anybody's face in the space. But thanks for listening to a different point of view. Thanks, Rob, for having me on and discussing something that obviously we're going to disagree on. But I really do think we agree on more of it than we disagree on.
Frank, what do you think the odds are that he's going to change his tune when he gets into a Simunitions Op 4 situation?
Well, unless he's a sissy, he will change his tune.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is shoot Rob in the ass. So
you're going to get lit up by every other motherfucker in the place if you do
yeah, but it'd be worth it. It'd be worth
it. I'm actually going to have fucking Patty on my Op 4 team. He's going to be on my team with me.
Yeah, but I'm going to.
Since Pat was in the Navy,
there's going to be a situation of fragging,
Fallon, Nevada,
here.
bro.
Like, yeah. Anyway, hey, I'm gonna go. All
right,
fuck
man.
off. But anyway,
all right, guys, we're gonna end the live stream. We're gonna keep the space going. Patty, thank you very much for coming on. I hope we gave you some stuff to think about, dude. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we all need to stop and start thinking clearer because we're not thinking clearly right now. None of us are, either side.
All right, thanks, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me on Critical Mass. I will be back on Wednesday at 5 p.m. And yes, I will do. I am going to go live with watching. Everybody's going to want to see Patty get lit up with Simunitions. I promise you that. That'll definitely fucking. I'll definitely get 100,000 views on that one. Everybody wanting to fucking see Patty get fucked.
When is that? When's that going to be?
It's in March. Frankie, I'll DM you the details on it.
Yeah, make sure. Yeah. All right, I got to go in a little bit myself, right. And I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not ending the space. I'm just gonna shut the live stream off. So everybody that's watching, thank you guys very much for supporting the show. As always, I will never not thank you. It means the world to me. All of the comments, even the retarded ones, the fact that you guys engage, I do appreciate you. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Oh, yeah, that's right. My brain stopped. All right. Have a great night.